Good morning. So today I'm off from home in Wirral. We're going to travel over into Cheshire, near Congleton, to a place called Little Moreton Hall. It's a National Trust property around 500 years old from the Tudor times, and is said to be one of the wonkiest buildings in the UK. It has been suggested that it is so wonky due to the marsh ground beneath. However, excavations have now ruled this out. It is now widely thought that the addition of the long gallery on the first floor has caused the issue. Although the hall first appears in records dating back to 1271, work started on the present building in 1504 and was eventually completed 100 years later. The hall was thought to have been designed by Richard Dale for William Morton, and work began in 1504, with additions taking place over the next 100 years. It's not surprising the crooked appearance of the house when you consider that the weight of the long gallery roof is around 32 tons. The Morton family were royalists, and following the outbreak of civil war, William Morton III and his son Edward were imprisoned. The run of the household was left to his two daughters, Anne and Jane. The hall was then confiscated by the government until William was eventually able to return, but by then he was heavily in debt. After William's death, the hall was handed to his children, who were to be the last Morton family to live there permanently. The hall was rented for the next 200 years, with the Dale family probably being the most well known. They took residence from 1880 to 1955, although the National Trust took ownership in 1938. In 1821, Elizabeth Moreton, a wealthy woman, inherited Little Moreton Hall and began the restoration of the house. One of her main feats was to install metal rods in the long gallery, which stabilised the south range. Another achievement was the restoration of the chapel, where a Bible is still on display to visitors. Eventually, Elizabeth passed the hall on to her cousin, Bishop Charles Abraham, who continued with the restoration work until it became no longer possible, and in 1937 he offered the hall over to the National Trust, who eventually took ownership in 1938. In Tudor times, there was a genuine belief in witches, and it is thought that people would scorch the surface of the buildings near entry points such as fireplaces, doorways and windows to keep out evil spirits. Researchers have found over 250 of these burn marks around the hall. So I hope you enjoyed today's visit to Little Moreton Hall, the wonkiest house in Britain. Certainly worth a visit here. Don't forget to like and subscribe, by the way. Cheers, bye.